It is very weird. Yes, can you see the laptop screen? Will you please acknowledge it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's great. All right. There you are. So let me just formally welcome you for the very first physical class the academic year 21-22. It's pretty clear that everything is clear. We have really no idea how long this uncertainty prevails. Nobody knows it. For that matter, let me give you two examples. The super seniors did not expect that their examinations would be cancelled. Of course, some of the examinations from the middle of it abruptly, like a bolt from the blue, got cancelled. Fine. But guys, is my voice clear and audible?
Yes, sir.
Right, thanks for the acknowledgement. Well, so, and your seniors had a very beautiful opportunity to be, assessed without giving any examinations. But do not expect something as such for you guys. Because of these two great blows, CBSE has formally decided to hold the examination, either through online or offline. So they have considered both the scenarios. Based on the prevailing situation, they decide as what to proceed with. So you will definitely have term 1 examination and term 2 examination if the institution adopts that format. If not, year-end examination for sure, either through online or offline. So surely you will have the examination, but you may have some, doubts in your mind or some considerations in your mind that okay, if it is online, it will be very nice. If it is offline, slightly difficult. So you might have that kind of things. But as far as the subjects that you have opted for in class 11, which will be upgraded in class 12, are concerned, you must get some content knowledge. I said, don't really give your best back in the bench. So just deviate from all those improper considerations and better start considering having some content in your mind regarding this. As you know, every subject will be upgraded, including English. Forget about the literature part. Whatever that is discussed here will be of great use to you when you give English board examination. It can be composition items, reading comprehensions, letter writing, etc. All that. All that will be upgraded slightly. So you don't get something out, regarding all those here. I don't think you can give a better you as far as class 12 is concerned, board examination is concerned. So just do not think about all those, materialistic things, or you can say not so very useful. You may have by the time you give the board examinations, we are pretty sure that the things will be in full control. So you may have to, not sure, you may have to give the boards offline. Written examination, pen and paper test offline. So please just have that in your mind. I mean, just have that in your mind so that you can prepare accordingly. Otherwise, you people forget about this class 11. Yeah, it will be over. It can be online, offline, as I said earlier. Uncertainty has been prevailed, and we don't know for how long. Forget about this one. And I'm talking about the board examinations that you're going to give next year. So have that in your mind. And for that, you need to get some knowledge here. Okay, before I just get into that, introduction generally happens in the beginning of the classes, right? But if you can just take this mask down and let me know your name so that I can match your names with your face. Okay. Mohit Chowdhury. Nothing. Okay. Naman Kandani. Indra Pillai. Yashika. Yashika Agarwal. Right. Utkarsh Pandey. Utkarsh Bansal. Yeah, there's one more Utkarsh, right? Yes. So, yeah. So online guys, it may be a little weird because I need to converse with the offline students, I mean your classmates here, and I need to grab your attention as well. So I'll be just shuffling in between. So it may sound a little hard, but as you know, something new will always need some patience and tolerance. Hopefully all of you must be having that one. Right. Now, coming back to today's business, previously we were talking about sentence reordering. Yes. And we did it in fact. And there was a very humorous class in the last time, in the last class. We were actually struggling and finally find something very odd, which was not there. And as per the instructions given to WhatsApp group, please just do the first one in the English notebook. And I'll just post that to me on my WhatsApp personal WhatsApp window, so that I can have it checked. If not there are any concerns, please just let me know. Now this week we'll be moving on with literature part as I discussed earlier. We'll be again coming back to this one. And again just instead of just discussing one thing, maybe grammar at a stretch, compulsion items at a stretch, or literature at a stretch. So it will actually make you lose your interest. And that's my point. So coming back to this one. This you see in the third chapter. We already finished the second chapter. Can somebody let us know the title of it? Title of the second chapter? Okay, so we finished the second chapter from Supplementary Reader, The Address by Magamiki. And we also finished the second chapter from the main course book, Hardware as well. What was that? That's the first short story from Supplementary Reader. Second short story, The Address. First story, lesson. We are not afraid to die if we can all be together. We are not afraid to die if we can all be together by Garden Brook and Helen East. And that was a very nice story and gives you a feeling of real life experience, but it was a fictitious one, not a real one. But because of the dates, times, places, all that will make you feel that it is something real that has happened somewhere, maybe on those days. But it's actually fictitious story. Now moving on to the third chapter, we have one story, lesson, and a poem. See, the third chapter contains one lesson. Discovering Time. This saga continues, which will be a very beautiful one, which we discuss online. Online is a better choice for that. So I just brought to discuss one. Now, instead I'm just moving on to the poem in that chapter, that is The Labor on Top by Ted Hughes, an English writer. Are you guys able to follow me? Those who are attending online? Or simply just tuned into the class and looking after your own work? Can somebody please acknowledge it?
Yes.
Is there any disturbance over the line? Now, if there are any such oddities, difficulties, obstacles, or any problems or technical glitches, please let me know
Sir,
because I need to manage here as well. So kindly understand that one.
sir,
And in the beginning of this class, let me tell you one thing for both of you, online guys and offline guys. It's just like quite a different thing to all of us. Even we did not have the experience of taking online classes earlier. Of course, we had. Very few teachers had that experience before this pandemic. But most of the teachers did not have that experience. Anyhow, it took a bit of time to get adjusted to it and get accustomed to it. Now the scene is quite different. We need to handle both offline and online, and this is absolutely new to both of us. For you and for me as well. I mean, teachers as well. So as I just mentioned in the beginning of it, kindly have some tolerance. There will be some disturbances here and there. In time to come, we'll find better ways. For example, if you see the screen being reflected, left, you can see the left as right, right as left. And this is an application I could not actually effectively implement this time. I'll make sure that I do it in the next class. So like this, there will be an improvement and we can just come to a betterment. If you just remember your experience, just in the beginning of this pandemic, when we switched over classes to online mode, some of you might have felt difficulty even joining the class. Now you're able to join the class with ease. So, what really mattered over there? Of course, the time and a bit of experience. So, we just now got some refinement and somehow we are used to it. We are used to the screens, we are used to digital content, we are used to everything that's going on now. So, please just have that in your mind. And one more thing is, if the situation really permits us, let's have that offline classes only purely, because it's like traveling, having one leg in one boat and the other one in the other boat. I don't think you can have a better travel and better balancing as well. And probably sometimes those who are attending the classes online, sitting at home, might lose their interest, and sometimes those who are here in front of us might lose interest. So in order to avoid these two, better, we need to switch it over to offline classes as early as possible, taking all the measures and following all the standard operating procedure. That's my earnest suggestion. So on behalf of the teaching community, please make a note of that. Now, do you all have the books? English books. You don't have to just open that one. Do you all have it or not? Now online guys, if you do not have the books, please just stick to the presenter screen. If you have the books, please just open it. Without getting into that form straight away, as always, we'll have some kind of background, introductory kind of sessions. With that, we will just enter that one. Now we are going to discuss the liberalism taught by the English poet Ted Hughes in this and in the coming classes. Yes, go ahead, please. What's the concept?
sir, actually, Shivali is in the waiting room since a long time. So if you could please
Okay. Now I'm on a different screen, so sorry for that. Yeah, I've just let her in. Now she's, I think,
Thank you,
in.
sir.
Good morning, Shivali madam. Welcome to today's
Good
session.
morning, sir.
Right. Please just pay attention, everybody. Now, if you do not have this physical textbook with you, you just stick to the presenter screen. Now, there you see the poem from the third chapter, the Labor Talk. Well, it's by English poet. Before we talk about Ted Hughes, the English poet who composed this poem, and the poem, let me have a question for you. What are the different habitats of birds? That's the question. What are the different habitats? See, we human beings have houses. That can be usual houses or flats and apartments. Those are our habitats, not habits, habitats. And if you just talk about the wild animals, maybe hens, something like that. What about birds? What are the different habitats for birds? Anybody from online? Anybody from online? Where do the birds live? Where do the birds live? Don't say, yes sir, I am able to see some birds living on my terrace. Yes, it's terrace. Anybody from online? Can you hear me? Anybody from online? Have I asked Kaun Banega Crorepati 1 crore question?
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Time to think about it. And I'm talking about the habitats of birds here. Haven't you seen birds? Where they live? Where do they live? Right. Okay, somebody from offline. Nests. Nests. Okay, where can they build the nests? Of course, mostly we see them being on trees. Right. Can be different trees. We don't want to talk about them. But generally on trees. And you can see them having different varieties of nests or different varieties of course, trees. But the point is, mostly their habitats, of course, include trees. Okay. Now, sometimes you can even see them having their nests on ledges of rocks, something like that. If you remember the third chapter in class 10, 2 stories about flying. Yeah. So by Leon Flaherty, the very first one, his first flight in that by Leon Flaherty. You can see the young seagull being all alone on the ledge of a rock, which is so very, tall, because of XYZ reason. And there, I think you might have been revealed the reason as well for having a nest at the top of that deadly rock. In order to protect their feedlings or young ones from the predators, the parent birds build their nests on the top of those deadly rocks. See, there are plenty of videos where you can see having the nests in different ways. And sometimes some of the birds, what they do is, they just make a hole in the tree trunk, in the trunk of a tree, and don't think that it must be always a woodpecker. No, not really. You can even see a duck. What you heard is right, duck. Also having a nest in the middle. Now you may ask me, sir, how come it must have just, engraved that one? Probably it must have occupied that one. And must have had its young ones over there safely. So in order to protect these young ones, the parent birds, what they do is, they just of course build their nests in different ways, and of course in different places. Sometimes, mostly you can see them on trees, maybe on the branches of tree or in the middle of the trunk of the tree. But sometimes you can even see them having on the top of some rocks or ledges, because of the fact that they have to be protected. Right? I guess So these are all some of the habitats of the birds. In this also, you can see one simple scenario, simple scene, a very, very, very common scene, being taken up by Ted Hughes in order to talk about one great philosophy of life. Okay, some philosophy of life, some truth of life. We will just come to know what it is. But before that, let me have a word about Ted Hughes. As I said earlier, Ted Hughes is, of course, an English writer. Just a moment. Ted Hughes, an English writer, who recently died in the year 1998. Not so very recently, maybe about 20-25 years ago. See, this guy also got married to one more poet, Sylvia Plath. She was also best known for her poetry. But the way she met her death was so very tragic that I don't want to discuss. But Ted Hughes was also an international poet from the UK. And he is just best known for his work, Crow and Hag in the Rain. These two are famous works. And that fetched him international name. He is mainly translated as well. See there, he is a translator as well and children's writer. This is also a children's poem you can just look at this poem from the children's perspective and the adult's perspective. If you just look at from the children's perspective, you can simply see that there would be a Lebanon tree, just like this. Just like this. Sorry. A Lebanon tree, as you see here, it's just like this. It's an yellow colored tree. There will be a huge flowery streams running across, and there will be parts of it as well. But this is a vicious, poisonous one. And all the parts of the tree are poisonous. Just like you saw hemlock tree. Exactly. So all the parts of the tree are poisonous and which are deadly. Sometimes they prove to be very fatal to cattle. Now they accidentally eat some part of it, they die. Because it's very poisonous. But looks very beautiful. And it is quite like, something like decorating tree. Sorry. Decorating tree. And of course, we see them in parks also. Just sit at the back. Please don't mind. Alright? So, because there is a little space over here, and may have to cover that's a no. So, this is a poisonous tree. And then generally, it looks very beautiful. You can see them in parks, all that. The simple storyline here in this poem is, it will be silent, absolutely silent. But when the goldfinch bird comes to the tree, because it had already built a nest on the top of it, and in order to see their its feedlings and feed them, it comes. And once it comes to this tree, it environments, trembles with joy and all. That means the silent tree becomes absolutely noisy, and the death-like tree comes to life because of the arrival of that goldfinch bird, which is also gold in color, yellow in color, which matches the color with that of the tree. And once it just approaches the tree and just goes to its feedlings and feed them, it again leaves the tree. And once it starts leaving the shoots up to the sky, that means leaves the tree, it again remains silent. It's a very simple scene, but there is an underlying message in it which we need to focus on. See, from this, he talks about 2 to 3 things. Number 1, please make a note of these online guys. Number 1, the dependence on others. See, in life, we need to depend on each other. We are not individual human beings. For various things, you might be talented, you might be able to earn your own bread, you don't have to, stretch your hand in front of others. So you can be, individual who don't have to depend on anybody. But there will be some situations where you need to depend on somebody. Maybe for emotional support, maybe for financial support, something like this. So you can't really live all your life all alone. Akela. I think my Hindi is okay. So you really can't, sometimes just like the goldfinch bird and the laburnum tree, depending on each other. In fact, the goldfinch bird took help from this tree to build its nest. And in order to have that repaying kind of thing, the laburnum tree had its joy, happiness when it arrived. So it had its safety because of laburnum tree, and the laburnum tree had its happiness because of this one. So mutual dependence. So in life also, we may have to depend on others, maybe from sometimes, not necessarily for financial support, but from even emotional support. When we sometimes we may have to taste the failure, we may become successful failure, sometimes something happens. So that times, those times or those moments, we may need some emotional, mental support from others, those who are our well-wishers. So this kind of underlying message is seen. This is one thing. Okay? And the next thing is repaying attitude. It is interconnected. Just like there is a mutual dependence. One more thing is repaying attitude. It's just because of mutual dependence, you can see repaying attitude. See, this one has provided something beneficial to the goldfinch bird, which is also yellow in color. And that one has provided for that as a repaying, some kind of thing. It's given some life to it, life to this silent, death-like tree. So, just like that, in life also, we human beings should have that repaying attitude. And that sense of gratitude must be there. If you ask any civil stopper, let's say somebody has stopped the civil services. If you ask me, what's the secret of success? They may say, this is the thing, that is the thing. But if you ask me, if you ask him or her, who are the reasons for his support? As far as my mind goes, no civil topper so far said that it happened all alone, it happened all by himself. No. He never said that. She never said that. Instead, they just attribute their success to, maybe their parents, their partners, their teachers, their well-wishers, maybe a club sum of 2 or 3 from this. Of course, they only might have written the exam, and they only might have, prepared it, but that sense of gratitude, repaying, and that would be there for sure. So this is the kind of attitude one must have. Okay, and the third one, most important one. Are you able to follow me online, guys? Can somebody please just acknowledge it? Are you guys able to follow me? Did you understand the two things? Yeah, the truths of philosophies of life that have been underlying. Yes, guys. Nice. Next, the third one, most important one. From this, what we see is the joys and the spans of happiness. The time period of happiness or joys will be very short. Majority of our life is surrounded with unhappiness, silence, negativity.
Yeah.
But there will be a few moments where we can have happiness, joys, and satisfactions. And one has to lead one's life with these minor incidents or, little spans of happiness to cope with the, at large. See, majority of our life, is shrouded with negativity, passivity, silence, death-like things, negative things, and all that. But there will be a few moments which can, make us live our life. And those moments will be very short. So they might not be long-lasting. They are short-lived only. But they are the drivers. Again, they are the driving force behind our living. And we must make a note of that. That's what Ted Hughes philosophically tries to convey through this poem. Seemingly very simple poem. It's a seemingly very simple poem. I told you, there will be a death-like and silent laburnum tree. This is the laburnum tree. A bird will just come to it and enlivens it and then leaves. It's a very simple line. But what can we just learn out of it? This is what we can learn out of it. Let me just stress those 3 things once again. Number 1, mutual dependence. We can't live our life since the time we are born to the time we die. All alone, no. We need to depend. Not necessarily for financial support, but for some emotional, mental support we may have to do. So mutual dependence must be there. And the second one, repaying attitude must also be there. When we have done maybe some help by somebody, and it is our sense of gratitude to repay them, maybe in a different way, not necessarily in the same way. This is the second thing. And the last one, most important one, the spans of happiness, the time periods of joy will be very small, short-lived. hearing them, we need to remember them to fight against the larger negativity, larger passivity, and larger all that, silence, all that. Are we clear? Are we clear with the thing? Yes, sir. Shall we just look at the summary? Yes, sir. Okay, are we clear with the background of this? Online guys, shall we just move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Right, there you are.
Yes, sir.
You can just look at this one. This clearly describes, the summary and all. Now this will be just, give me a moment please. I can even show this to them, but I don't think that will be very visible and clear to these guys. So what I'm now trying to do is, I'm just going to present the screen there, and I'm just doing the same here. So might be a little odd. Let's see. Yeah, just look at this one. We will just discuss the summary. As you see here, see, it all starts with, this was already discussed. See, it is the introduction, and let me just have a word about the introduction as well, which was, of course, clubbed in the discussion as well. There will be, of course, a laburnum tree. As I have shown that to you, it's a yellow color, like this, and it will be beautiful to look at. And generally, its leaves will also turn yellow during the months of September, autumn season. Okay, so they turn yellow and matches with these flowers and all. It looks beautiful, but it's poisonous. All right, and there's one more character, goldfinch. The bird goldfinch, and that one is also yellow in color, and it matches with the color of this, and probably camouflage. It's a kind of camouflage, and probably in order to protect them and themselves, and of course its young ones. It might have built a nest over there, and that's the background of it, which is already discussed. Now let's come back to the summary. It's a simple thing, like you see here. It all starts with the description of the tree. The laburnum top refers to the top part of the laburnum tree, which is silent and death-like. No noise, no energy, no life, nothing. It is absolutely silent, death-like. Silence is synonymous to death, of course, here. So it all just, still and silent. Absolutely death-like, and no noise, no energy, no life, nothing at all. The whole tree is like that, and the top of it is more of that. It's absolutely, we can say that, silent. Strict silence, nothing, no noise, no life. And its leaves also turn yellow when the sunlight falls on it. It's a bit of description in the book. It turns yellow and matches with the flowers of it. And when they started turning yellow, it means that they are going to be ripened and they are going to be dropped to the ground. That's a natural phenomenon. So their seeds are already fallen. Now leaves are turning yellow. It was a daytime in the month of, please remember the month of September. It was a daytime in the month of September, when the tree was standing still and death-like. And with that description of the tree, the poem starts. Okay, and actually you can see 4 stanzas here. The interesting part is the 4 stanzas, as you see here, having different number of lines and no rhyming at all. See, the first stanza is having 3 lines. What about the last one? Just 1 line. Now, if we just consider the second one, there are many number of lines. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But when it comes to the third stanza, 2. So uneven number. And moreover, you can't see any rhyming. Can you? See, still, sunlight, fallen, end, stars, trills, fallen, end, last, whisperings, infinity. No rhyming at all. Not at all. So it is written in free verse or blank verse. When there is no rhyming in the poem, we say that it is a free verse. And it is this word. Or land verse. That's the one. So it has no rhyming. When any poem has no rhyming, then that is said to be free verse and land verse. This is the free verse and land verse. So the poem after the description of the Lebanon tree, the first on the top of this, which is so very still and silent, and whose leaves are turning yellow, while its seeds have already fallen to the ground. And it was a daytime in the month of September. And the whole tree is just silent and dead-like. There is no life, no energy, no noise, nothing as such. And in the next stanza, let's see here. Sorry. The next stanza. This lifeless, death-like tree comes to life with the arrival of a bird which had a nest on the tree, on the top of the tree, and that is goldfinch. See, with the arrival of goldfinch bird, it all came to life all of a sudden. Till that moment, it was absolutely silent, motionless, death-like, but it just came to life with the arrival of this goldfinch. Okay, I think I can show you the bird also. Here is the bird. It is yellow in color most of the times. Just a moment, let me show that to you as well. Can you see the bird? On the screen, please. That's the goldfinch bird. More or less, it's yellow in color all over the body, except a few parts, maybe on the top of the head and some of the wings. That's it. Mostly yellow in color. So, yeah, this is a bit of description about this goldfinch bird. You can just go through that. It's all about that. I'll just stop it. Maybe for 10 minutes after. Last 15 minutes, you'll be given the freedom. You are not Afghanistanis and I am not Taliban to take control over it. Right? Okay. just wait for a moment. So, as you see over there, it eats small leaves and seeds, all that. And they love all this thistle and sunflower seeds mainly. Love it, in fact. Short, top-notch seeds like this. It's a bit of description. Now coming back to this one, the summary. So, the lifeless tree is not full of life because of the arrival of this bird, goldfinch bird. She just came there in order to feed her younger ones and to feed them, which had been this mother bird left the place in search of food. And once that got food, it came back to feed her young ones. That is the reason it came to the tree. Now, there is a beautiful description. It just enters the tree and just goes to the top of the tree like a lizard. The commotion is just compared like that, and became the engine of the family, just like the engine drives all the debus. Coaches. Okay, so coaches, it is just like the engine of the family, and it makes all the noise, and it just moves like a lizard to the top of the tree. And on seeing this mother bird, the young ones also start chirping. Really, you see them, young ones. And they also start responding. And with all those noises, the commotion of the bird and the responses from the younger ones, all of a sudden the whole tree comes to life. Comes to life. And that is noteworthy here. Till that moment, it was death-like. Absolutely silent and still. No movement, no sound, nothing at all. But now, it has just become full of life. And as soon as she arrives, the younger ones also start chirping. They just make sounds. And it's just like a machine and vibrating. All that. There's just a bit of poetic description here. Now, after feeding them, the young ones, towards the last stages of the poem, it starts leaving. It shoots to the infinite. It shoots to the infinite. The infinite means, of course, the sky. It just flies to the sky. So when on the before it just got shoots up to the sky, there is one more description which is noteworthy here. As I said multiple times in the beginning of this class, both this bird and the tree matches in color. When it reaches the top of it, before it just flies to the sky, this tree has camouflaged the bird. That means that the bird was not able to be seen because of the color matching. It was there, but nobody could see it. See, I can say that this is the kind of description given by the poet himself when he could see this happening maybe one day, because it's in the third person. So he was not able to see that because the bird was barred by the color of this. There you can see a poetic device called transferred epithet. Also, once we take up the discussion of detailed discussion on the poem, then we will understand all that. So anyhow, there was a camouflage. There was a bird, but that could not be seen. And after a little while, when it made sure that all the young ones are safe and secure and they are fed properly, then it leaves the tree. And once it leaves the tree, again, most of the brings silence. But there is something underlying which we should know. I hope that is clear. Now we will see the book, no detailed explanation later. Any concerns? Are we clear? We'll see the detailed explanation later on, don't worry, not now. Are there any concerns? Sleeping? Have lunch?
No, sir.
Okay, any concerns? One last time for online guys.
No, sir.
I think it's a bit clear to the offline guys. Right. So then, let me just take the attendance. Then you can leave, enjoy your lunch. You can even invite me. I'm really all alone and burning my own hands. Just let me take the attendance, guys. Just give me a moment. Yeah, get relaxed. Do not leave the session. Let me take the attendance. It's getting ready. Give me a bit of time. Yes. Yes, please. Do not touch the surfaces unnecessarily. Right. Okay, guys, attendance seems to be ready. Now you may leave the session and enjoy your day. Be ready for the next session where we discuss the poem detailedly. Thank you, all of you. Have a good day ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so
Thank you, sir.